In 2023, director Eli Roth hit us with a horror movie about that time of year when you get together with your friends and family, you share a meal, and put up with an unhealthy dose of consumerism. That holiday, of course, being Thanksgiving. Why? What were you thinking? Hello everyone, I'm Kay Swope, and we're going to go ahead and dive into this review of the movie Thanksgiving. Hopefully you guys are excited for it. I know I sure am. I figured this time of year, we're in Thanksgiving week right now, and I figured, this is the perfect movie to do for this week. So, you know what? We're going to do it. For those of you guys who do not know, if you're just tuning in for the first time, here's how this review is going to look. I'm going to go through and say all the good things about the movie that I liked. I'm also going to say the bad things about the movie. And then I'm also going to bring up a few things in this review specifically that are kind of miscellaneous that I really didn't like nor dislike, just kind of found a little in the middle but are still worth bringing up. We're going to do that, and then we're going to rate the movie on a scale from 1 to 10. 1 being this movie is utter garbage, and 10 being Thanksgiving turkey. Beautiful. Okay, so that's what we're going to do for this video. Without further ado, why don't we go ahead and dive right in. I will say this review is going to have spoilers, so this is your spoiler warning. Turn back now if you don't want anything spoiled for you. Let's go ahead and dive in. The good. This movie, it has a real big hook at the beginning. The first 15 minutes or so is this sequence. It's this Black Friday sequence. Well, Black Thursday, I guess, sequence. I really got sucked into the plot. I really started caring about what was going on after watching this unfold. And so basically what happened was I went into it and didn't know what to expect, of course. I see the scene. There's some really ridiculous stuff in this scene too, but either way, everything plays out and I'm like, dang, like I'm invested now at this point. So that is really, really good. Unfortunately, that is the only good point that I have for this film, which is very, very unfortunate. Before we get into the bad, I want to bring up the miscellaneous stuff, okay? These are things I found interesting. For one, the gore and the kills in this movie, they're very campy. They're very over the top. And I kind of like that sometimes in movies. In this movie, though, I have a problem. It's that, and I'll talk about that, I guess, in the bad a little bit more. But I didn't quite enjoy them as much in this movie. I'll save those thoughts for later. But that's just kind of what it is. The gore and the kills are just ridiculous. They're off the chain. So if you really like ridiculous, like, haha, that's a hilarious way to die type of thing in horror movies, you might enjoy this movie. So I'm just putting that out there for you. The other thing, there's this line that I heard, and I just kind of laughed because it's like, this is so bad, it's good, this specific line. And that line being, this year, there will be no leftovers. It's said like once, then reiterated, but both during like the final fight when they're fighting the bad guy. So it's hilarious, but not hilarious in a good way, if that makes sense. But it's hilarious nonetheless. So that all being said, let's go ahead and move on to the bad things. The story of this movie, the plot, it's terrible. Like, it's really just kind of a low bar, low brow, not really all that there, I suppose. Again, it starts off really interesting because it starts with this Black Thursday, okay? The problem is, though, and this is another big problem with the movie I want to say, this was made last year, and I can even say this for last year. Last year, the time that's recording, of course. 2024 now, the movie came out last year, 2023. But I feel like Black Friday is dead, and I can say that as someone who would go Black Friday shopping almost every year because it's all moved online. And I guess because Black Friday has so much of a bad reputation, they've kind of moved away from it in a sense. So the deals aren't as good. There's not a whole lot of reason to show up in store and, like shop and, grab your items and stuff. So that's kind of over and done with. Plus, I cannot remember, it's probably been at least 3 or 4 years at this point that there was Black Friday on Thanksgiving. I know because I would literally go, and I would love it, by the way. But that's kind of the big setup for this movie. And like I said, there's that big sequence, which is kind of crazy and also very gory and over the top and kind of ridiculous with the Black Friday. It still hooked me in, so I can still say that was really good. It was executed quite well in terms of getting me engaged with the story that they were going to tell. However, the thing that kept going through my mind watching it is, this doesn't happen anymore. Like, I can't remember the last time that a department store was open on Thanksgiving Thursday and had all its Black Friday sales early because it's been so long. And so I feel like this is really dated and it's not going to age well at all as a result of that. Something that bugs me, this might be a little bit of a nitpick. There is a kill where a lady gets flown into a dumpster and her body gets cut in half from the dumpster door slamming down. And I'm just thinking to myself, I have thrown so much crap away in dumpsters. And the dumpster doors are plastic, okay? They're not going to do anything as far as hurting someone. I could literally, now I don't want to do this because don't get me wrong, I could still hurt myself. But I could literally put my head inside of a dumpster and have the dumpster door fall on me. And I'm not going to, that's not going to happen. And so it's different. I guess my big problem with this movie is those kind of crazy over-the-top kills, I think, are appropriate for a really over-the-top crazy movie. So, like, take Evil Dead, okay? Really campy. They kind of acknowledge and embrace its campiness, and they go really over the top with a lot of stuff. That's part of the series' charm. But this doesn't have that. It takes itself way too seriously, and everyone is taking everything way too seriously. And I feel like that creates a big problem for me, because it just doesn't line up. It doesn't add up. And again, I really hate it. Something else I hate too is the acting all around is just not good in this movie. It's pretty bad. And there's well, at least one big name, Patrick. What's his name? The guy from Grey's Anatomy. Patrick something. Time to Google. Let's Google. Patrick Dempsey. Okay, yeah. Patrick Dempsey. Yeah. He is an accomplished actor. He's been in a lot of stuff. And I feel like he was really trying in this movie, but he's the same guy who said, chasing, some people going, this year there will be no leftovers. He can say it with a straight face, so that, proves that he's a good actor, but, like, are you kidding me? Like, this is serious. And then everyone else just did a really mediocre, if that, job, I feel like, because he's really the only, I think, big name that was attached to the film. And spoiler alert, he is the bad guy. So again, I warned you before about spoilers. Yeah, it's not great. It's not good. There are also like practically no physics in this movie. It just doesn't make any sense. You have characters and things happening and they're just like physics out the window. I hate that too because I want some type of grounded realism in my movie. And this movie, I just feel like throws realism to the wind, and I was not really a fan. And again, it doesn't have to be always realistic. If it's campy and it knows it's being campy, like Evil Dead once again, then I think that's fine. I think that's cool, and I think, what the heck, let's run with it. But yeah, it doesn't do that for me. Speaking of it taking itself too seriously, all the characters are acting like, oh, this is terrible, and this is bad, and this is, oh, what can we do? But they're not acknowledging how ridiculous it is. You have a guy in a Paul Revere mask and a whole pilgrim costume going around killing people and kidnapping one lady and seasoning her like a chicken, and yeah, it's like this is so over the top and so stupid, and they take it all so seriously, and I'm like, guys, do you know what's happening here? You literally have a guy parading around as a pilgrim who's trying to kill people, and I'm like, this is so dumb. So all that being said, let's go ahead and move into my conclusion. Thanksgiving is one of the most over-the-top horror movies that I have ever seen. It's almost funny at times, but it takes itself way too seriously, making the tone very off and very weird. In the end, I really did not care for it, and I will probably never watch it again. At least I will never choose to watch it again, that is. And so that being said, this is going to be quite brutal. I don't think I've ever given anything a score this low at this point, but I'm going to give this a 2 out of 10 on my rating. So ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's my review of Thanksgiving. Hopefully you guys have a better Thanksgiving than I have by watching this film, because it was not very good. But yeah, you guys all take care. I will catch all of you guys in the next one. But before you leave, make sure you go and check out my Instagram and X. You can go follow me there. Both my usernames on there are kswope_, so go follow me there. Also, if you like this video, hey, subscribe for more reviews just like this one. If you liked it, drop it a like, or if you have any different opinions on this movie, maybe anything I didn't miss or didn't think about watching it, please feel free to drop a comment. I'd love to hear what you have to say. But until then, I'm Kswope, and I will see you in the next one.